there was ever a time when you didn't follow a plant-based diet, then you probably had bagels and lox, and you probably liked them. Well, now you can like them again because Reeves made you the most amazing recipe. These carrot lox are gonna blow your mind. I'll show you how to make them and you'll thank me for the rest of your life. Let's do it. Hey everybody, this is Dylan. We're back for another holiday special, carrots. Not just for Frosty's nose anymore. We are making it into lox. If you saw our carrot hot dog recipe somewhat recently, also brought to you by Reeves. Reeves, where do you get these carrot recipes? They're unbelievable. She's the designer, she's the carrot sorceress. All right, enough talk, let's do this thing. We have to turn these carrots into lox. And the first step is simply to cut the top off, cut the ends off, and then just peel them. And then boom, we're ready. Let's go over to the steamer basket and get it done. Now we gotta steam these things. We're gonna pre-cook them before we turn them into little ribbons. That's not gonna work, is it? So I'm gonna just chop the skinny side off of this thing about right there, and then boom, it fits right in, okay? I'll use that as my template here. Boom. If you don't have a steamer basket or something like that, you could just boil these carrots. It's no big deal. You just need them to be cooked through, and then we'll move on to the next step. Let's go over to the stove and give these a little steam. It's that simple. You don't probably even need to follow me over here because it's so easy. Watch me. It's just this. Okay, boom. For these carrots, it's probably gonna be like 10 minutes. So just let them cook 10 minutes, let them chill there. I mean steam there. And that's it. We're gonna do the ribbons next. But before we do the ribbons, let's make our marinade so we can toss everything together. This is not a totally SOS-free recipe. There's some added salt. I don't really have an alternative, to be quite honest, that would do the same thing without the added salt. If you got some ideas, definitely hit me up down below in the comments and we will try it out and let you know. I've done this with liquid aminos, you could do the coconut aminos, you could do soy sauce, whatever. And take a tablespoon or so. This is not an exact recipe. It does not, I never measure it. I can't even believe I am right now, but you guys make me do this. Next up is liquid smoke. I really like this liquid smoke because it doesn't have the added caramel coloring that plastic bottle one does. I don't know what brand the other one is. This is the Wright's. Pretty good. We're gonna do about a teaspoon in this recipe. And finally, we have these handy dandy kelp granules. You can find these at Whole Foods. You can buy them on Amazon probably. I'm gonna take, this is what gives it a little bit of that fishy flavor that we're trying to recreate with the lox. And I'm gonna do like a teaspoon of this. It kind of expands, so you don't want to do too much of this stuff or it's going to be on everything. Oh boy! Then we need a little bit of that lemony goodness. So I'm going to take about half of a lemon and squeeze it on in here. We'll probably need a little bit more water because it's plenty of carrot and we want enough marinade to get on everything. So I usually add maybe like a tablespoon of water or something like that. You can add it once you put it all in the marinade bag, you know what I mean? Give it a little whisk like so. And now let's get to making some ribbony lox. If there is a hard part in this recipe, which there is not, it would be this part. Now I'm going to take my peeler. We're just going to peel this baby into nice ribbony lox. Look how perfect and beautiful and thin that is. Be careful, the last thing you want to do is accidentally murder yourself. Just drop it right into the tank. If you were going to use a knife, you just need to have like a flat side and then you can try and just get them really thin, but it's going to be hard, but it is doable. Okay, let's give this just a little tossing. We want to get the kelp granules.
You're gonna have stinky fingers.
Oh boy. Make sure everything's getting into the marinade. This looks like plenty for this amount of marinade. If you want to do another carrot, then just do another batch of marinade. But I would, if you were gonna double this, maybe you don't put in more kelp granules because I think it's plenty of kelp granules. Don't you think, Reeves?
Yeah.
Now we got to get all that into a bag. I like this little bag and then I vacuum seal these bags. For marinating, it's really nice because we want this to marinate, and Reeves likes it like multiple days. Overnight is probably good enough in my opinion, but we got to get this in here. Maybe I've chosen too skinny of a bag, but it works really good for when you vacuum seal. But you can just use a Ziploc and suck all the air out of it, you know, whatever. Do pour in the last remaining bit of liquid. And that's that. If it looks like there's not much liquid in there, then now is when you could take a little bit of water, get it in there, mix it all around, and then suck this thing shut and everything will come together really nicely. Reeves has the recipe for the marinade down below. There's a blog post with all the numbers on there. Just make a double, triple, quadruple batch of it, whatever, and you'll as many carrots as you want. This is not an exacting thing. And now we'll get our ones that I did last night. So here's the big batch that I made a couple nights ago. So these should be like ready to go. All we're doing is drying these out a little bit, which definitely concentrates the flavor. It makes it better. But if you want to skip this step because you got things going on or whatever, you don't absolutely have to do it. Can you direct me here? Do you just lay them flat on there just like that?
I usually do.
Or can I have like a little pile of them? I mean, they're not going to dry out as well like that, obviously. If you go too thin, my worry is that once they dry out, they're going to be really hard to get off the parchment paper. But
I would use some tender loving care and make sure they're all separated and stuff.
We'll be mostly tender loving care, and we'll do some that are a little bit wacky. How about that? Then we can totally compare it.
Still, eat one like that.
Definitely mimics the flavor that we all kind of probably have forgotten by now. Let's throw them in there for an hour and 15 minutes, 200 degrees, and we'll catch you after that. Okay, y'all, the lox just beeped. They're ready. Let's get our healthy bagels going. Reeves has got a gluten-free bagel in there, which is looking pretty good. But we've got to whip up a little cream cheese, so let's get right to it. Again, the recipe's down below. I'm not gonna tell you all the measurements, but I'm making a big batch. You could probably half this. I'm going to throw in a whole block of tofu, a can of garbanzo beans, which have been drained and rinsed. Then we've got, you can optionally throw in a little bit of miso paste. This gives it a little bit of saltiness. You don't have to use it. It's not gonna make much difference, just cream cheese. Here we have a little bit of Well Your World nutritional yeast. This is my non-fortified nutritional yeast. You asked for it for a million years and now you have it. Throw that in there, about a half a cup. And then I'm gonna get a couple of squirts here of mustard, just a couple teaspoons worth of your favorite mustard. This one's pretty darn good. Let's give it a blend, shall we? And see what we come up with. It's nice and creamy, flavor's really nice. Not too rich because we didn't use nuts, we used tofu instead. I want a little bit of like apple cider vinegar or something in it though. I'm gonna squeeze that half a lemon in and see what happens. All right, let's have a little taste.
Tangier?
I like it with the lemon, it's pretty good. Oh, one more thing, a little red onion. You gotta have that nice, really thinly sliced red onion. Let's get those lox. So all I'm gonna do is just carefully take your spatula and we'll just peel these off because they're gonna stick a little because they're such thin strands and we wanna try not to bust them too much. I'm gonna take a little cream cheese. Let's paint on some lox. Stack them on just like that, right? Throw on a little onion like so. And then optionally, again, this is a little bit of salt. Capers are salty. This is kind of a salty meal, but at least it's whole food, oil-free, pretty amazing. Okay, there you have it, y'all. This is Reeves's famous carrot bagel and lox. That is really good. You could probably go with that Breville, it does things faster. You could probably do even a little bit less time to keep the lox a little bit more moist. I'm not complaining, these are really good. Okay, let's make Reeves the bagel and Reeves lox. You want them just stacked on there?
Yeah, my bagel doesn't have a hole.
Throw on a little bit of that onion. A few capers, Reeves.
Heck yeah.
Let's see what you think.
The lox have that smoky punch of flavor, and then there's the onion, and then there's the cream cheese, and it's just a perfect combo.
It is, isn't it? And by the way, if you don't eat bagels, then you could just put this all right on top of our spinach artichoke latkes from last week's video. You're gonna love it. Let's just give it a shot. A little bit of that cream cheese on top, a little bit of lox with some onion. Boom, look at that. We could do a caper or two. Let's see. Super tasty. Now you got a modified version too. I hope you love it. Click down below for the recipe for this one and do tell Reeves in the comments how much you love this one. And check out this playlist right here for the rest of our delicious, tasty holiday favorites. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.